What's up, everybody? We are back with some Breaking Wrestling Bears is episode 17. And yeah, it's been a little bit. We've been, getting around for the summer, busy with jobs and all that good stuff. We are glad to get back at you with some of the, stuff that has been happening while we have been gone. So this is going to be kind of a wrap up of a little bit of things going on in the wrestling world, as we kind of do, but it's going to be a little bit bigger wrap, a little bit of a summation of both the AEW as well as the WWE side of things. My name is SMS Rampage, as you see at the bottom down low, right over there. And then this guy over here is, that way.
I am SOS Farm, and on Twitch I am Farm27.
Not on Twitch. That's not correct.
On YouTube.
On Twitch, you're SOS Farm.
Yes, he is correct. I'm trying to adjust my camera, so my mind's a little distracted at the moment. I am SOS Farm, and on YouTube I am Farm27.
He actually has a ghost behind him. It's like the Blair Witch Project. His nose is going to start running, and he's going to start running as fast as possible.
You saw the ghost?
Oh, there's a ghost too. It's right in the corner of your screen.
Abigail's back.
Oh God! But we appreciate y'all. Speaking of back, we are gonna just go right on into WWE side of things, and they re-signed, and I guess the first time we've ever seen Ron Killings officially in the WWE.
The truth. The Truth Killings
will set you free. How do you feel about this? Do you feel like it's a flash in the pan? Do you think they're going to actually run with it? Where are you feeling with all this?
It's a semi-flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Because none of this was supposed to happen. But the fact that it is shows like the faith that he's built up with the fans throughout his whole career. And like, we don't want to see him go out like this. Like, even though he would have went somewhere else and been successful, like, this is the big leagues. Like, y'all should do him better than this. So I'm interested to see where it goes, especially with the TNA crossover. Because, Homeboy is former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. So it'll be interesting. I like how he's if you notice, like, when he's talking to himself, like, one of the things I noticed he said is I don't need everybody talking at once. And then he says, like, I'm driving now. So like, he's got like the voices, and like there's multiple personalities going on right now, I think. So it's interesting if you really pay attention to the layers of it.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I think it's going to be kind of that flash in the pan because, like you said, it was not planned. But I think it is going to be like just like how it started. It's going to be on us as the wrestling fans, us as the WWE universe, to keep it going and to keep that push going. And if it doesn't, if we don't keep supporting, if we don't keep giving him those massive pops, those massive R-Truth chants or Ron Killings chants, it's going to be a flash in the pan and not seen again. So I feel like that's really what bases the entire situation on, is going to be that fan reaction, and if the fans keep that fire going as much as possible, because they definitely won't themselves. We've seen in the past.
All right, I might buy a shirt, like, especially if this is his last run. I don't have an R-Truth shirt. It'd be great for the collection.
Going ahead, as far as what I think is a flash in the pan, I've already kind of told you of it. It was, in my mind, a little bit of a weak parody, and them trying to take a shot at, what had happened in the past. I think they could have done a lot more with it. But you tell me how you feel about the Cena pipe bomb.
I liked it. I like how he mimicked a lot of things that Punk said, but he flipped it. For instance, how he said, instead of like, I'm actually one of the people in the locker room that does like you, Cena said, I'm actually one of the people in the locker room that gets along with you, because Punk has the history of locker room situations. So, har, har, har. That makes me laugh.
Right.
Also, this was interesting because the crowd is very behind. Nobody wants to boo John Cena. He's counting down the days. We are well aware, and we don't want him to leave, and he doesn't want to leave. But we know it's happening, and like I don't know, we're just playing along. We're doing the John Cena sucks, but when he's spitting on the mic, like homeboy is still spitting bars, and he's not even rapping, you know.
Yeah. I think that goes a lot to saying, and what a lot of people have had issues with, of whatever they are doing, they need to get on there. Come on, like let's do it. What we don't have time to build. We don't have these long storylines that Cena has kind of done in the past, and WWE has leaned into in the past. Of this long storytelling we have counting down right now. We're almost into July. Like we have, over half the year is done, and he's had good matchups, but the feuds and the heel turn all together have been kind of a dud. And they really SummerSlam and this next Night of Champions are going to be the tone setter of how this heel turn is going to be looked at through history, of like whether it's just going to be kind of him turning heel and having this championship run, or whether there's going to be some story behind it and things that people look back on. So that's really kind of where that's going to play into a factor. I think that one of the things that, could play a big factor on it is if they do either turn Cody and have him join, or, try to see what they can do with The Rock and, getting Travis back in and see what happens. But I think they have a lot of work to do there.
I mean, they're kind of doing like the speed run John Cena storylines right now, as far as like Truth, Orton, and Punk. Like these aren't long storylines like the Cody one has been.
Right.
So maybe like that's the key, since like there isn't as much time to do longer storylines. Like the key is to do the speed run version where you just get right to the juicy bits and then right to the match. Like just cut the crap. If you're gonna do Gunther and Cena, like first week, make it interesting. Second week, make it even more interesting, and then the third week is the match, and then it's over, and then like he goes on to the next part. Maybe that's the only way to do it, because like time's ticking.
Right. Kind of going on to our next topic a little bit, and this is kind of going to be a shorter one, but I'm just kind of curious on what you feel and how you feel this is going to play going forward with Liv Morgan's injury. Hopefully she gets better soon. It looks like a nasty injury, and it looks like it could be at least 3 to 6 months. But that also gives room on the roster for another female to possibly step into that light, because she has been the top star over the past year and a half. You do say, who do you think is that person that's going to step into that spot to take the limelight? Who do you think is going to be? Do you think Rhea slides back into that spot of being that top female on the roster? I know you're also a big Roxanne Perez fan, and she's kind of already lined up a little bit to kind of get that spot. Do you think we push that along faster? Where do you think we go?
I think, well, obviously they're gonna reposition Rhea. Yes. Because there's a void missing. First of all, it's super unfortunate that Liv got this bummer of an injury that just happened by chance,
right.
Like, like me and you've been watching wrestling for a long time, and like we've seen injuries where like someone does a drop kick and like they mess up their knee. So like it's just one of those where it's like, oh man, that's any move at any time can catch you. But like the promo she had just did last week or whatever against Nikki Bella, where like she came out there and she was just like, I'm this, I'm that, I've done that, I've done this, I'm blah 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 blah. Like, and the crowd was behind her and hyper. The more she said about her accomplishments, the more the crowd was getting loud, and like she's like the it girl, and it's sucks that she's not gonna be around for like the rest of the year. But I think that so they just got Blake Monroe in NXT.
Huh.
I think because she's feuding with the trio group with Jasmine, JC, and Fallon.
Okay.
I think Fallon is the next one to come up, and I think she'll take a spot. And like you're saying, like Roxanne, she's like that storyline is right there. Like Liv can't defend the tag team titles, but I'm here. I can fight with you. And like the team of Roxanne and Raquel, the two Spanish girls, like they're like Raquel's not gonna like it at first, but these two are gonna click. And by the time Liv comes back, there's gonna be a whole new path of drama. I don't even know if Liv is in the Judgment Day. I'm gonna start calling her Olivia also. Just
Going
like
forward as well on. Hmm?
I was just thinking, like, what is Liv short for? And I was like, Olivia. Olivia. That's who she is. She's Olivia.
As far as going forward with our Money in the Bank cash-ins, where do you think we're going with as far as Seth with his Money in the Bank briefcase and, obviously Naomi on the other side? Do you think they're going to be sitting on it? Do you think they're going to be cashing it in soon? We did have Naomi try already once now. Do you think Naomi also could slide in over on Raw's side of things and maybe take that void that Liv was going to have, maybe?
I didn't even think about that. Oh, Naomi and Io. That's interesting. I don't even know if they've really crossed paths unless it was like in a Royal Rumble.
No,
I
I
didn't
don't
think
think so.
I don't know. I think Naomi is just waiting for the right person to cash in on. She wants to make a statement and she wants to like ruin someone's day.
Right.
Seth Seth is patient. Seth's had this before. He's gonna walk out. He's gonna show the briefcase. He's gonna laugh. He's gonna sick his goons on people, and he's gonna have Paul Heyman talk smack in the background. I don't know when Seth's gonna cash in.
Sure. Do you think it has anything to do with this new member that they're talking about? And do you think it's either going to be the two rumored people of Ricky Saints or Ethan Page, or do you think there's a third member that people aren't seeing and rumoring that might be that third member for them or fourth member?
I could see one more member.
Mm-hmm.
I could see it being Ricky, just because I don't think Ethan would need it. He can kind of like go off and do his own thing, and I see him as like a Miz kind of person. Like no matter who
Mm-hmm.
you stick him with, he's gonna be able to make it work, whether it's like in the ring or like with promos. So like he's gonna find magic with whatever. But like I feel like they want to set up certain people for the future, and that's what they're doing with Braun, with the Bronze Breaker and Reed. That's their
Proud of
names.
yourself for that one.
No,
The
I
Browns.
heard that. I heard that somewhere. I didn't just make that up.
Oh, okay.
But that's who they are, though. The Bronze.
Speaking of brawn people, we'll go with brawn people. Someone like
Braun.
Braun Breaker, someone that probably inspired Braun
Oh no,
Breaker a little bit.
no.
We have Gunther versus Goldberg in the main event of Saturday night's main event. Goldberg deserving this title shot because he was undefeated for 176 wins, so that's why he can just take this title shot whenever he wants it, pal.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak on this, sir?
Okay. Just because you got 176 wins before you got beaten doesn't mean that you deserve a title shot. 27 years after it happened. Asuka's streak is better than yours.
This is for Brett.
You pronounced her name wrong. Also, she came back the same night that you came back, and her return was better than your return. I'm just taking shots right now. You kicked Brett in the head, and Brett never got a retirement match. So why do you think that you deserve one? You got to live out your last match. Your family got to see you wrestle. Your son, your shirtless son, got to get in the ring, pose with you after you beat Brock. Yo, when you beat Brock at Survivor Series, that was incredible. My jaw was on the ground. You should have. That should have been it, man. You should have rode off into the sunset. But then you headbutted a locker in Saudi Arabia, and then you dropped the Undertaker on his head.
You forgot the 3 title reigns that he's ruined for you.
Oh, I forgot about that. So, first of all, I'm glad that Gunther is no longer Walter, because Walter was a little heftier. You took the belt from Kevin Owens, heftier. You took the title from Bray Wyatt, heftier. Bray Wyatt. It's still heard in my head.
Now he just ruined the Yeet reign.
And back to this. Hold on. WrestleMania was set up perfectly for Jericho versus Kevin Owens for the Universal title.
Yes.
And then
Goldberg.
And then WrestleMania was set up perfectly for the Fiend Bray Wyatt versus Roman Reigns. And then Goldberg. With all due respect, go away.
Have your match and go away.
I hope Gunther wins.
Quickly. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Well, best time to hop on over the fence after we get out of this Goldberg drudge.
Goldberg will hop over the fence and leave our company.
Yeah, he'll just debut in AEW instead. Speaking of debuts,
and then you can do the rain on this side of the screen.
That's fine. We won't take him over there. Moving on to debuts, Thekla debuted over here. Thekla, whichever. I can't understand 100%, but definitely the Spider Lady, definitely dominant debut. Definitely had an interesting look, an interesting way that she moves, an interesting move set in general. What did you think of the debut and the matches that you've seen so far?
I like her fighting style. It reminds me of like a ROH. Like, I know she fought in Japan, but I'm more used to, I guess, that style from the women in ROH, like, the Athenas and whatnot. Like that style's crazy. She's very hypnotizing.
The way that she uses the ropes and stuff, that she hangs in the ropes and different things like that.
Yeah.
The different brutal strikes and the brutal submissions, it's definitely, everything gets over very, very well on screen. So I'm definitely very excited to see where she goes and how she goes. Hopefully she's not the new toy and gets thrown to the side like they seem to like to do over there. So hopefully we actually get some sort of push behind that and we got something there.
Well, she doesn't have a championship, so she won't run into Mercedes, so she's good for now.
Hey, Mercedes got another new wonderful belt because it's all about Maya.
Yo, did you see Mercedes wants to fight somebody that has like 9 belts? And
yes.
Like, I bet you won't put them all on the... Yo, she's trying to...
She wants them all because they're all from Maya.
Yo, get that wheelbarrow, that wagon. she needs a dump truck, like... Or you know what? Bring oh man, Camille. Bring Camille back. Camille she can carry at least 7 of those belts for you.
She won another one at Grand Slam Mexico, which was a very, very fun show as far as overall. It was, a good vibe as far as, the setting and everything. It felt, the fact that they had full matches and there weren't any backstage segments. The MJF Mystico match was very, very fun as far as the way they worked it. The four-way match with all the luchadors, another very, very good time as far as everything you would want in a match. The way that Ricochet and Lio Rush were kind of working as the heels against Dorada and Hologram. A lot of good action in the multi-man matches as well as far as the tag is concerned. What were your thoughts of Grand Slam Mexico overall as far as how from what you saw?
It was good. I like the venue, the look of the arena. Anything that gives a show you watch on a regular basis a different look is always good. Like when they're in the Hammerstein Ballroom, it always seems like a bigger show, even if it's just your regular lineup of matches. The MJF and Mystico situation is funny.
It's funny
because,
Sin Cara, man.
Yeah. I mean, hey, MJF's going to work with everyone he's ever wanted to work with.
WWE 12 cover artist in Mexico, Mystico.
Hey, man, tell me he won't be fighting Bad Bunny in 3 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This will be the spawn of it.
Speaking of the spawn of certain things, we had Okada joining up with the Don Callis family officially now, which sets up some interesting things going forward as far as now we have Don Callis in the ring saying Okada's the best in the world with Mr. Takeshita next to him. So that's going to be very, very interesting. Obviously setting up Don Callis in the corner for the Omega Okada match, which will, is kind of the correct call with that. But also, like I said, it really sets up for afterwards having Okada and Takeshita being able to have this overall feud and even throwing Kyle Fletcher in there as well. So it's definitely setting up some fun storylines, some fun things to really give Okada a little bit more of a sinister vibe to him. And that's also why they did the elbow spot and, spewing of the blood and all that.
I would love for, as all three of these guys start to feud and rival with each other, if Don Callis stayed all their manager Bill Alfonso style with Seb, Taz, and RVD, including cheering for both of them while they're fighting. You got this, Okada. Don't let them do that to you.
Takeshita.
Come on, Takeshita, get back up. You got this.
I could see that, and I could see that getting over. But either way, it's setting up for a fun all-in as far as that's concerned. And, I can't wait to kind of see where that transpires. And I can't wait to see how Night of Champions kind of transpires and the rest of the wrestling world transpires. Unless there's anything else you want to cover, why don't you pitch yourself and we can get out of here?
Push Queen Aminata.
Hear that here, folks.
Give her some merchandise so I can buy her t-shirts.
There you
go. Speedy recovery to Liv Morgan.
Good job. Now pitch yourself.
I am SOS Farm, and on YouTube, I am Farm27.
And SOS Rampages, and I appreciate you for joining this channel, joining us on this wrestling journey where we talk about both sides of the wrestling world, trying to bring the wrestling world together, as well as while we do our SOS universe on 2K. Give us any suggestions in the comments on any feuds and different things you want to see on that, as well as all the other different things we do on the channel. We appreciate y'all, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.